The last time the budget process, as outlined by the 1974 Budget Act, was done by design and on time, that is regular order, was 1995. Normal today are continuing resolutions or major omnibus packages and constant threats of a government shutdown. That's not what the framers intended. It's not what we should be doing. So we're going to have to enact some changes to that process in order for it to work for the American people. So in 1974, it was determined by the Congress that it needed a more defined process, a process that could somewhat guarantee that the funding of the government could actually take place. And that's the blueprint that we've been operating on now for over 40 years, that 1974 Budget Act. So budgets are visionary documents. They're, in many cases today, messaging documents for the party in power. Appropriations are what actually fund the inner workings of government that we deal with on an annual basis. But the budget resolution is designed to take the total budget picture, both mandatory and discretionary spending, and calculate based on certain baselines and economic outlooks what spending is going to look like, not only in a given year, but in a 10-year budget window. Appropriations are the dollars out of the federal budget that go to fund what we call the discretionary programs of government, which is the government that is closest to the people. It's how we fund national security. It's how we fund the National Institutes of Health. It's how we fund national parks. If you can't agree to spending levels in a given appropriations year, then oftentimes you will revert to the CR, the continuing resolution, which is merely a snapshot of the funding from the previous approved budget and appropriations legislation. The problem with continuing resolutions, you are basically funding the government in those programs based on priorities from previous years and not the current urgent needs of the country. Omnibus spending packages happen as a result of Congress's inability to move 12 different appropriations bills through both chambers of Congress. Part of the problem is the calendar. Part of the problem is the fact that because of the uniqueness of the Senate rules, it is very difficult, at least in contemporary memory, to be able to move 12 individual appropriations bills across the floor of the Senate so that they can get ready to go to conference with the House. Probably the most noteworthy problem about the way the process works today is that too many times the decisions about how much we're going to spend on these programs, discretionary programs, is kicked up to leadership. That the Congress can't decide, and so because we're running out of time, we ask the majority and minority leaders of both the House and the Senate to meet, maybe engage the White House and see if a handful of people sitting at a table can come up with those numbers with which the Congress can go ahead and write their appropriations bills. That's not the way this process was designed. Saving this country from itself is going to require political will and political courage, because there are going to be some tough choices ahead for us to right this ship in terms of the fiscal glide path that we're on today.